It was a chilly Saturday evening in London, and the soft drizzle outside made the streets glisten under the orange glow of street lamps. Inside the car, Emily, a 20-year-old British girl, sat with her arms folded, scrolling aimlessly on her phone. Her mother, Mrs. Carter, was at the wheel, humming softly as she drove them toward a family-friendly Italian restaurant. Mrs. Carter had suggested the dinner to spend some quality time together, knowing that her daughter's university schedule kept her busy and often irritable. Emily, however, seemed unimpressed from the start. As they stepped inside the restaurant, the warm aroma of baked bread and herbs filled the air. Families chatted cheerfully at their tables, couples laughed quietly over wine, and the dim lights created a cozy atmosphere. The hostess greeted them politely and guided them to a small table near the window. Mrs. Carter smiled. "Mother, cheerfully, isn't this lovely, Emily? A little break from cooking at home." Emily didn't look up from her phone. Emily, flatly, "Yeah, it's fine, I guess." Her tone already carried a sense of boredom, and her mother sighed but let it pass. She hoped that once they settled in, her daughter's mood would improve. As they sat down, menus were placed before them. Mrs. Carter carefully studied hers, while Emily tossed hers aside after a quick glance. Emily, grumbling, "Ugh, nothing on here looks good." Mrs. Carter gave her a gentle but warning glance. She didn't want to start the evening with an argument, but she could already sense Emily's sharp attitude bubbling beneath the surface. The atmosphere around them was cheerful, but at their table, tension quietly brewed. The stage was set for what would soon become an embarrassing scene. A few minutes later, a young waiter approached their table with a friendly smile. He looked no older than 25, his uniform neatly pressed, his notepad ready in hand. "Waiter, politely, good evening, ladies. Can I get you something to drink to start with?" Mrs. Carter smiled warmly. "Mother, yes, I'll have a sparkling water, please." Emily, without even lifting her eyes from her phone, muttered, "Emily, rudely, just bring me a Coke. And make sure there's no ice. I hate when they put ice." The waiter blinked at the sharp tone but nodded courteously. "Waiter, of course, miss. No ice. I'll be right back." As he walked away, Mrs. Carter leaned slightly toward her daughter. "Mother," softly but firm, "Emily, mind your manners, please." Emily, rolling her eyes, "Mum, he's just a waiter. It's his job." Mrs. Carter's lips pressed into a thin line, but she decided to stay quiet for now. When the waiter returned with the drinks, Emily finally put her phone down, but only to complain. "Waiter. Here you go. 1 sparkling water and 1 Coke, no ice." Emily gave the glass a glance and scoffed. "Emily. Wow, congratulations, you got it right. Do you want a medal or something?" The waiter froze for a moment, clearly embarrassed, but forced a smile and carried on. A couple at the next table exchanged glances, whispering at Emily's unnecessary rudeness. Mrs. Carter's cheeks flushed with shame. She gave Emily a sharp look, but her daughter ignored it. The food arrived 20 minutes later. The waiter, still professional, carefully placed each plate down in front of them. "Waiter. Here's the pasta for you, miss, and the chicken parmigiana for you, ma'am. Is there anything else I can get for you right now?" Emily, Not as bad as last time, but still too soft. You'd think they could cook pasta properly in an Italian restaurant." The waiter gave a polite nod, though his ears turned red, and hurried back toward the kitchen. A nearby couple shot Emily a disapproving look, whispering behind their napkins. Mrs. Carter's face burned with humiliation. She leaned forward across the table, lowering her voice to a sharp whisper. "Mother, stern, Emily, stop this. Right now. You are embarrassing yourself, and me." Emily smirked and shrugged, twirling her fork carelessly. "Emily, what?" "I'm just telling the truth. People need to hear it." Her mother shook her head slowly, pressing her lips together, choosing silence instead of a public argument. The rest of the meal passed in strained quiet. Mrs. Carter ate in small bites, her mind racing. Every time she caught the waiter's eye, she felt compelled to give him an apologetic smile. Emily, on the other hand, sat with her phone propped up against her glass, scrolling through social media while eating. The front door clicked shut behind them as they stepped into the quiet house. Emily kicked off her shoes carelessly by the door and tossed her bag onto the sofa. Emily. Well, that was boring. Next time can we just order takeaway? Mrs. Carter turned slowly, her eyes fixed on her daughter. The calm silence in the house contrasted sharply with the fire in her voice. Mother. Sit down, Emily. Right now. Emily froze, halfway toward her room. She had heard that tone before, of a low, steady, the kind of voice that left no room for argument. Rolling her eyes, she slumped onto the sofa. Emily, sighing, Mum, what's the big deal? It was just dinner. Mrs. Carter stood in front of her, arms folded. Her face was pale with contained anger. Mother. Just dinner? Do you even realize how you behaved? You humiliated that poor waiter tonight. You embarrassed me, and yourself. She knew exactly what her mother meant. Emily, Mum, you don't seriously mean, Mother, cutting her off. Oh, I do. After the way you behaved, I would be failing as a mother if I let this go unpunished. Emily shifted uncomfortably on the sofa, her arms wrapped tightly across her chest. Emily. Mum. I'm 20 years old. You can't just, Mrs. Carter's voice cut through her protest like steel. Mother, don't you dare hide behind your age, young lady. You acted like a spoiled child tonight, and you will be dealt with like one. Emily flushed crimson. She had hoped her mother was bluffing, but the unwavering look in Mrs. Carter's eyes told her otherwise. Mother, pointing to the chair in the center of the room, stand up. Now. The silence in the room was deafening. Emily's pride battled her fear, but her mother's stern authority left no space for defiance. Slowly, hesitantly, cheeks burning with shame, she lowered herself across her mother's lap. The first smack of the hairbrush landed firmly, and Emily yelped. Emily, gasping, ow. Mum, please. But the smacks came in steady rhythm, sharp and unrelenting. Mother, scolding between strikes, this is for your rudeness. Smack, smack, smack for humiliating that waiter. Smack, smack, smack. Emily squirmed desperately, her face pressed into her hands, her cheeks blazing as much as the sting on her backside. Emily, crying out, I'm sorry. Please, I'm sorry. But her mother didn't stop until she was certain the lesson had sunk in. Only when Emily's resistance melted into sobs did Mrs. Carter finally set the hairbrush aside. She let her daughter up, who quickly stood, rubbing her sore bottom, her face streaked with tears of shame. Mrs. Carter rose to her feet, her voice softer now but still firm. Mother. Emily, look at me. Slowly, Emily lifted her watery eyes. Mother. This was not done out of anger. It was done because you needed to learn a lesson. You will treat people with respect, no matter their job, no matter who they are. Do you understand? Emily sniffled, nodding quickly. Emily. Yes, Mum. I understand. I won't do it again. Mrs. Carter reached out, gently brushing a tear from her daughter's cheek. Mother, softer good. I'd rather discipline you now than see you grow into someone cruel. Next time, remember tonight before you open your mouth. Emily lowered her head, humbled at last. The punishment was over, but the lesson would not be forgotten.